Hey guys, today I want to take a look at a remote and see if we can get it working with the Floatwheel ADV2. I got this package from Next Racing Division or Development. They sent me this in this package, pretty well packed. It comes with the remote and it also has like the finger insert option for the back panel and 3 different little knobs for your thumb to control it. First impression was, besides a note saying, make sure to read the docs, there was no reminder what the website was or how to find it. So I had to go on Discord and figure that out. But it would be good to at least put the website on there just so people remember where they bought it from. Then the docs on there seem to actually be pretty good. So let's open that here. So on the website, if we go to the Leafblaster Pubmote page, down at the bottom, we can find all the links to the documentation. There's also a quick setup video, which makes sense. And here is the official documentation. So I already charged it. And now press and hold the joystick for 3 to 4 seconds. And it boots up. All right, and now I need to swipe down from the top and I do get a menu. And now I'm supposed to go to calibration. Start. All right, it's in the center. Now min max. Calibration complete. All right, now step 4. Proceed to step 5. In the Pubmote Quick Start docs to pair your remote. Okay, so let's go here. So that's the GitHub page from Simon Wilson, who we also have to thank for Floaty. So step 5, pair the remote to your VESC Express. I've got my ADV2 here. I will connect. And now you want to make sure you're actually on the VESC Express and you're supposed to enable Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is disabled, so you set it to access point and I already have it set to ADV2 and the password will be Floatwheel. So I hit right, and at this point I believe a restart is in order. So just to be safe. Okay, board is rebooted. And now Wi-Fi should be available. So let's go and look at the documentation again. Now I need to install float accessories. So let's go back into VESC tool, and actually in the official Pubmote docs, it does tell you to get float accessories 2.6. So we'll tap that, tapping that. Okay, takes me to some New Zealand download site. ... download. Continue. Yes, I want to download. All right, I assume it's downloaded. Now, in VESC tool, it should be in my downloads folder, I would assume. So in VESC tool, again, double checking I'm on the VESC Express. I'll go to package store and now install from file. Download site is a little sketchy. Yeah, it's not on my... I don't have this package because the name is float_accessories Pubmote fix. That is not anywhere on my phone. So it decrypts it, probably installs a virus on my phone. And then when I say download, nothing happens. Yeah. So I'm gonna download it by other means and transfer it to my phone. If you can get it on your phone, then do that. So I'm just gonna email it to myself, download it on the PC. So let's install Float accessories now. So here is the one that we just downloaded. And installing takes a little while, so I'll fast forward this. All right, installation is done. And Float accessories does not give you a config tab, but it gives you the app UI. So in app UI, we have LED control. We'll turn that off since we have no LEDs. Config, settings, there, LED disabled, Pubmote enabled. And that should be it. Let's hit save config just in case. All right, now let's pair it. Config, pair, Pubmote, 2188, accept. So now they should be paired. It works. There we have it. It works on the ADV2 without any hardware mods. And yeah, the installation is pretty straightforward, especially if you stick to just the instructions provided and don't experiment with new Float accessory versions and so on. And there's a few things that I learned in the process. So number one, pin lock firmware. You have to disable the pin lock if you have any of the current pin lock firmware versions. I need to make a change to allow the Lisp command that sets the remote to allow that to pass through. Otherwise, the remote won't work. And also, I found it very difficult to switch between boards, and it was kind of a pain to set up two different boards and switch the remote between the two, because you have to repair, and the remote would, well, the remote was fine, but Float accessories would lose its settings somehow, and I'd have to reconfigure it, and then once you re-enable the remote, you have to reboot, and that was really complicated. But once it's set up for a single board, and then it just works out of the box, and you don't have to worry about setting it up again. But if you have multiple boards, then you may want to get multiple remotes too. All right, we got some tricky terrain here. Obviously, I've already adjusted my ATR to handle it all, so I don't really use the remote in most cases, but there are a few where I always wished for a little bit more lift to get a bit more nose clearance. So it's nice to be able to have that support, like say you're coming in hot to a turn that goes uphill, you can just pre-lift the nose, and that definitely would help with any of your underground segment times, because I consider it a cheat. But for those of you who like remotes, this is the easiest way to get one on your ADV2. But yeah, the remote feels nice. I'm not sure how sturdy that little stick is going to be. It feels kind of flimsy when you look at it, but then again, the BKB Voyager is also known for the stick breaking. At least here you can print different knobs that you put on top of it, but also the replacement here is going to be pretty easy because this is an open source product, and so the parts to replace things like the shifter knob or whatever they're called, the control knob, should be pretty cheap to purchase. One other thing I didn't quite appreciate in the beginning, the access point that you're enabling in Wi-Fi, it doesn't matter what the username and password is, but you have to have it enabled because the ESP Now feature, which is that direct peer-to-peer Wi-Fi connection that these devices support, only gets activated if you turn on the access point. So that's why you have to have it on, and you never have to enter the password and so on here because it's all done through that pairing code. Here's a section where it's pretty much impossible to do this if you come in with speed, if you don't have a remote. So let's try this out now. Whoa. So here, this is a really steep uphill. We can come in, the nose is already preloaded and allows me to climb this super easily. Otherwise, I can only kind of crawl up it until the ATR kicks in. Here's one more example of uphill I can show you where the remote was really helpful, because normally also I have to hit it slow, or at least the lifting of the nose to make the initial section slows the board down a lot, whereas with the remote you can lift the nose without any slowdown, which is pretty sweet. Anyway, so if you're looking for a remote, Leafblaster is a good way to go. There's also AvaSpark that follows a similar recipe. They call it something different. So there's a whole range of these remotes available. But the Leafblaster, definitely very nice. Thanks to Caleb for sending this to me. And yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of fun with it.